All right, YouTube, this is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Sunday evening. I've got Mr. Brad O on the video call on the Discords, the fine gentleman behind Goblin, Scribe Gaming, and we're going to talk tonight about his new book. Goblin, Scribe, take it away, sir.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, for sure. Yeah, this is my first production here, the Class Toolkit Compendium. I honestly found Low Fantasy Gaming, and I was like, I need a Druid class, so I did a Druid class on Reddit, and the rest is history. Like, it kind of snowballed from there.
People were like, we dig this shit, make more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then I was like, now the Barbarian and the Druid, or the Barbarian and the Bard, I've got to bring them with all the abilities of the other classes. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, I was just going to do those, and got Steve to post them on the site. And then now,
the rest is history.
Actually, 10 classes later now.
Yeah.
I mean, not even some stuff on the side.
Of course, you saw the interview with Steve G.
Yeah.
And we talked about you a little bit, so keep your head small. Don't get a big head on me now. You're not famous. You're good looking, but you're not famous. All right, so chill the fuck out. Yeah, Steve was such a pleasure to talk to, man. And one of my buddies was like, dude, you guys had chemistry. It was like a bromance. And I'm
really
like,
was.
It was just fun, and when it flows, man. And you can't force this, and that's what I like about the YouTube and the, doing all this shit. It flows and it's fun, and that's what I do it for. I do it for fun, and for relaxing, and Steve was just, so charming and so just, good day, mate, with his Australian accent and everything. It was just awesome to talk to and hear that. And, me being, Brooklyn, and, I've got a little bit of a southern drawl, and I've got a little bit of an East Coast drawl, so I'm all fucked up, and so it was just fun. And then it just dawned on me, you and I were talking on the Discords, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's a publisher now. He's published a book. That motherfucker needs to come on the show and chat. This is content, man. This is what gets subscribers. So, the other thing I do want to give you a big shout out for. I'm not on the Twitters. I think it is a useless piece of technology. That's just me, because I'm old and grumpy. But thank you for shouting it out on the Twitters and getting some more people to come see and stuff. That is super cool and very kind of you. And of course, I think I was one of the first, if not the first, to buy your book on drive-thru. I think I was real close if I wasn't the first.
Yeah, I think you were like at least one of the top three. But
you might have let your close personal friends, know that it was on sale. And then when as soon as you posted on Discord, I clicked on it. I was like, fuck, $5. And it's, how many pages is it again?
Oh, well, I'd say probably 40 pages of content, 49 pages of PDF, and then you got your OGL.
Right, the obligatory.
I have my
fluff.
Designer notes. Yeah. Designer notes in there that I threw in there from the stuff that I posted on Steve's
So let's
site.
get into this. We understand how you started. It was a Reddit. You fucked up. You let people know you could write, and shit, it's gone there. I personally loved the monk because if anytime I can play a monk, I will dive into a monk. And low fantasy gaming for me is not so much a love of playing; it's more a love of GMing. But I dug the monk, and so I was really happy to see that, and that you gave it such attention and everything. But is this the first thing you've tried to put together, or have you done other things, or was it just literally you posted on Reddit and it went from there?
Well, so I was looking for a new fantasy game for my homebrew fantasy world that I just have for my in-person group that I've had probably for the most part since 05, like in some variations anyway. And ironically, my fiance being one of them, which is awesome. It's always good to share that. But honestly, this is the first professional thing that I did, if you want to call it.
No, hey, did you make money off of it?
Yeah, actually.
Well, then it's professional, right?
All right.
You went out and bought a $100 piece of software today, didn't you?
Actually, Affinity was on sale 50% off, and it was only $25.
No way.
So,
and that's a layout, right, for Adobe, or InDesign, or
it's InDesign. It's a couple other things, man. But Like I literally all I did was like I uploaded the PDF in there because I had this one guy who was like, I want a print copy version, and
Yeah.
so I could print it out and do the spiral band like you mentioned. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. And he's like, hang on. And so he's like, here, and he just sends me the PDF over Discord, and it's like all the parchment's gone, so he could print it
Right.
for himself. And I was like, well,
How'd you do
damn.
that?
Yeah, that's really cool. And then so I was like, well, wait a minute, because I asked him to do it one more time because I had to do a couple bits of cleanup, and I was like, I can't keep asking this guy to do that. This
Yeah,
is
that's
my
not
project.
fair. Yeah.
So,
But it was very nice that he did.
oh yeah, he's a super nice guy. And honestly, it's the first time I ever talked to him too. Is like he literally just messaged me and said, "Hey, is there is there a print friendly version?" I was like, no, sorry.
See, I print all my shit at work, so I don't care if it's print friendly.
Right.
I know the IT guy; he's a dick.
So, so yeah, it's just like he did that, and then I was like, I couldn't keep doing that, and then I talked to my other content bro, as I call him, JD Productions, and all that. He's got some awesome stuff. Check him out too.
Is that JD JRPG or whatever on the Discord?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes,
Well, tell him to reach out to me, man. I want to look at his stuff and get him on the channel and torture him like I'm doing you right now. So if he's down with it. Some people don't like to be on camera though. Some people are shy or self-conscious about the way they look. I mean, look at me. Come on. I don't know why people want to fucking see this, but they keep asking me to do interviews and stuff. So I'm like, okay, will you talk to me, please? So,
you're entertaining, man. I mean,
that's what they keep telling. That's what my wife tells me every time I get naked, but I don't understand. So it's one of those things, It's self-deprecating.
Yeah. So back to what you're asking, I was like, so I found Low Fantasy Gaming, and to be completely honest, just because of the name, I almost skipped over it.
Right.
But I was
same.
like, and I'm like, I'm really glad I didn't. Like, I would kick myself if I found out later that this game was this good back then. And this is 2019, I think.
Yeah.
So basically, I was on there and I was like, okay, how can I sell this to my players? Because they're used to like 3.5 and 3.0 and Pathfinder and such like that. And love them all. I'm just tired of DMing them. So
want something easy.
Yeah, well, something a little more rules over ruling kind of thing, or ruling over rules sort of deal. And I found this, and I was like, okay. So I watched one of Steve's intro videos on the LFG website, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Feels like second edition, which is what I grew up on. But it also has that modern aesthetic where it's not, too complicated, but it's like, you can, the advantage, disadvantage, all that. And I was like, well, what? And then I read the Artificer class, and let me tell you, after watching this video, I was like, dude, this is what I've been wanting to play for years. And I was like, so what would be the first thing my players would notice saying, hey, it doesn't have it. And they love druids. We just got done with a Pathfinder game, and my buddy was playing a Kobold Islander druid. Like, he dealt with like storms in the ocean, and it was so cool. And I was like, I gotta let him be able to do that in this game. And so that's how it kind of started. And Steve saw it being posted on the LFG Reddit, and he started talking to me. And then my other buddy Carter, which is also known as Complex Deer on the Discord, he kind of comes in and out, but he was one of the first people that brought me into this. He's like, come on the Discord, man. I was like, all right, cool. Again, back to the snowball. So yeah, but those two were the first, and then JD was like, hey, you got some good stuff. And I was like, well, so do you. And so we've just been kind of buds ever since. And then like literally Friday night, JD ran a Low Life 2090 for myself, Steve, and then our Friday group too. Like, because I'm in a LFG group with JD on Fridays, and we had an absolute blast. It was set in the Judge Dredd universe. Can't beat that.
Yeah, I saw your post there. It was man, I'm kind of jealous. Man. I didn't get an invite. Screw you. Just saying. No, it's cool, man. It sounded like it was a lot of fun.
It was, man.
Yeah. I know Steve had a good time. He told me he had a really good time.
Yeah, we'll have to get you in or something.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down to play. This new job is kicking my ass, but it's much. I'm 54 years old. Monday, the 21st, was my birthday, and so 54 is. Thank you, sir. 54 is not that old, but it ain't that young either. And
right.
I definitely can't do the shit I used to do, 20 years ago. And of course, I'm raising a 4-year-old on top of that, and so I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and man, by 8:30 at night, I'm like, I'm okay, I'm awake, and then the wife makes dinner, and I'm like, I'm going to bed, So it definitely, it's fine. I'm getting adjusted to it because it's more physical work. I'm moving 24-inch pipe, and
Crazy,
valves the size of my, as big as me. So, yeah. So you found LFG, and I think someone said, I don't remember who it was, but they said, and it might have been me. Shit, I don't remember, but it was, this is everything 5th edition wanted to be.
Oh wow, I didn't actually hear that.
Yeah, I think it was me that said that. Because I don't dislike 5th edition, but I don't like it. I don't like that. I hit you, you hit me. I hit you, you hit me. Whoever runs out of hit points first wins, or loses. And it's boring as shit to me. And the combat takes forever. I'm running a Pathfinder 2nd edition game, and my combats do not take forever. My players know what they need to do. They know, and if they hem and they haw, I skip them. It's that simple, man. I don't, and they know, you have your shit together. It's combat. If you got in a real world fight, and I've been in a couple, being in law enforcement and stuff. Sure. Yeah, nobody gives you time to. Oh, wait, I got to see how to do a round kick here. Hold on one moment. I'll kick your ass in a moment. No, you're getting shanked or beat up or whatever. And you don't have time for that shit. So you just like real world. And we try to simulate real life in our role playing game. So, think fast or die, and that's what I like about LFG. Is high damage, low hit points, medium armor. The armor doesn't get crazy in it. So you take a good solid, like especially in low life. You get your average gun is 2d6. That's 7 points of damage. You're looking at your average dude has maybe at best 18 hit points. You're damn near half your hit points in one hit. You ain't taking too many of those, and so it's like, oh shit, this reality. I'm gonna die,
Right.
So I think it's and that's what I really like about LFG. But I like that there's enough crunch that when you're playing the game, you look forward to that next level. It's like, oh, I'm going to be able to do this, and at 3rd level I can make my own feat, or I could take that monk feat, and whatever it may be, and so there's that enthusiasm. Now, part of that is it's a new game, but part of it is the game design, right? It's like your compendium is a great example because it's just a bunch of weapons. It's a bunch of or not weapons. It's a bunch of basically talents. Feats. Yeah. And it's just solid because it just adds that much more flavor to an already flavorful game. And so, how long did it take you to put it all together?
Well, actually, so I did each class individually first. And I was just like, when Steve posted my druid on the LFG website, I told my gaming group, and I'm like, dude, an actual author recognized me, and I love Steve to death, man. He's given me so much praise, so much guidance, and such like this. I can't, discredit him in any way. Very much my royal advisor, if you will.
Yeah. He's just a super nice guy. Like when we were running our live action, we play tested Low Life for him, and I GM'd. Nice. Yeah, I GM'd it, and a couple of the players on Discord. In fact, all the players are on Discord. We played over Discord, and he was right there, man. He was in the sidelines, and when we had questions, we would just type it up and shoot it to him, and he would answer right away. So it was, and then he took our feedback, and it made it into the next iteration of the update. So it was like you said, just a super nice. And he's sitting there giving me props for running the game, and I'm like, dude, all I did was put into function what you wrote. I just, But he was just so grateful, and you know, you don't meet a lot of people like that are grounded, you know.
No.
And he's a criminal prosecutor, you know. This is a guy that, you know,
Right?
you know, you wouldn't think that, you know, a lawyer basically is a gamer, but they're out there, which means I get to kill him twice because he's a lawyer, which we all hate, and he's a gamer, so he's a player, so I get to kill him twice. He's super nice, and he's just a very personable person. He's one of those people that you're happy that you know, and that's how I feel about him. And he's always on the channel. He's always piping in and saying nice things, and you know, like it helped you out, you know, and stuff. And then when I saw your book and I saw Steve approved it, I was like, well, then I just gotta have it, you know. He gave us the GM screen for Lowlife for free. I'm like, dude, you're trying to make money, but put $5 on that sumbitch and sell it. People will pay $5 for a GM screen easily, you know. But he was like, no,
I know I would.
Yeah, I would have, but it was free.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So let me torture you. What's your first role playing game? What got you into the hobby?
Well, that is good old second edition AD&D. Playing, it was actually a friend's birthday, and so basically his parents were a bit overly religious, so D&D was the devil.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, no hate to any religion or anything.
No.
You know,
there's room for everybody. You may be wrong, but there's still room for you. Just saying. I'm just saying.
So we went up, and it was me, him, my first DM at would be first DM at the time. And we went to his room and we just started playing. I remember our first character was ironically a druid. Yeah, I know.
Since
I know, right? I'm seeing a trend here. So we went up there and they were asking what we were doing, and we were like, we're playing Middle Earth. And that was, for some reason, perfectly okay.
Right. Because they read the books, probably.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, okay, so it's literally the same thing. It's just,
by the way, a Balrog is a demon.
Yeah.
Hello.
But they let us play there for a bit, and then after that, my DM my first DM, me and him broke off, met up with my other buddy, and it was us for, I'd say, a good long time. Like, and then, you know, adulting comes in after high school and all that such. So after that, you know, groups were different and such like that. But honestly, my one of my best friends, Drake, he was one of the first people that I ever played with. I mean, I still keep in touch with him. He literally lives like 30 minutes away from my house. So like, we still keep in touch and such like that. So
yeah. All the people I started playing with are dead now. So thanks for bringing that fond memory back.
Sorry.
No, I'm teasing. But yeah, all the people I played with are dead. They literally are all gone. But that's okay. My mom got me into it. I was a troubled teen, stealing cars, doing bad things. My dad was a cop, so we're the worst kids in the world, you know. So kids of cops, because we have to prove ourselves. We're badass. We're badder than everybody else. And and my mom was a nurse, so she was never around, working double, triple shifts when my dad, you know, left. So she saw that D&D, you know, the white staple first, you know, the original chainmail, and she brought it home in a Ziploc bag with some chits, and she sat down on the floor with me, and we cut them out. And my mom was my first GM. So that's a fond memory I have. My mom was a voracious reader. Whenever she had free time, she would read, and it was not unusual to go crawl in bed with her, and there would be like 1 or 2 books in the bed, you know. So yeah, and that's where I get my love of reading from, is my mom. My dad, I don't think he could spell read, but you know, he put food on the table for the time that he was there, but that's okay. Yeah. But all right, so a classical start, like most of us, acceptable. What's your favorite, barring the stuff that you've written, what's your favorite game?
Oh, jeez.
You can only pick one. It's your favorite game.
Yeah, that's what you did to Steve. So. But, you know, honestly, I can pretty much easily say Savage Worlds. Like, literally, any setting, any new homebrew stuff that I do, it almost, unless it's fantasy, because I've always been, you know, on the D&D side of it. any other genre, it's like, okay, so how am I going to do this? And it's like, well, just Savage Worlds. And it's like, really, the only reason I don't pick Savage Worlds for everything is because I don't want to burn out on it, you know?
Right, right.
I don't
Too
want
much
to
of a
play
good
literally
thing.
nothing but that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Too much of a good thing.
Yeah,
And
I'm,
so
I'm right there with you, man. I love the Savage World. I was a little miffed at Pinnacle, and I know Jody and Clint and Shane Hensley. I've had dinner with all those people and stuff, and gamed with them many times. Because Shane lives in Arizona, and I used to live in Phoenix, and he's up in Tucson, or I think he's in Scottsdale now. I'm not quite sure. He moved. I know that. Chandler. He's in Chandler. But they came out with the Riffs, box set. And it was like a $200 Kickstarter, and I went balls deep in it. My wife was like, $200, what? And I got the tokens and everything, and because it was Savage Worlds, right? And I think 2 months later they came out with Suede, and I was like, you sons of bitches, because the mechanics were, they changed enough to make it kind of useless. You could do the conversion guide, but you would have to convert all, and it's like, why didn't you just, they knew they were coming out with Suede. Why not wait and just release it all at once? But they didn't. And then they did another Kickstarter to convert your books into the Suede. And I'm like, no, I've already paid for the books. I'm not doing it. And I saw they just kicked out another Kickstarter for Atlantis, which I'm so tempted. And of course, it's all in the new Suede rules. So I'm like, I got to look at it and see if maybe there's going to be an option to pick up the first set of books for the new Suede. And if there is, I might seriously consider looking at it that way. But I kind of stayed away from. But yeah, Savage Worlds is my one-stop shop. It used to be GURPS, because GURPS can do everything. And I do love GURPS, but Savage Worlds is just so much easier to whip up a character. In minutes, 10 minutes. Once you know how to make a character in Savage Worlds, you can have a valid character in 10 minutes. It's that easy. Just make a couple of choices and roll. So all right. So then the hard question: you're on an airplane, you're about to crash. You can only save one book, one RPG book. What is it?
Oh man, I have a library of books here too. Honestly though, I'd have to still go with Savage Worlds because literally, if I'm stuck with one book the rest of my life, one book can do everything, and then I can make more stuff for it. Why not?
There you go.
Yeah.
This is my son. It's my little monster. Can you say hi?
Say hi.
Hi. Look, I got a top. All right. Can you go play in the traffic now? I love you. He's fine. My wife's talking to her parents on the phone, so he was bored. So he's like, "Oh, Daddy's doing." He loves to see himself on camera too. He's a ham. So, all right. So we got that one. That's another good answer. All right. So now, and I kind of have an idea of what the answer is going to be, but I could be wrong. What's the one RPG that you've read or you've seen, and you're like, "Damn, I wish I would have wrote that."
Oh, so let's see here. I've got a pile of them over here.
And it's got to be one that you're like passionate about. Like, God, I wish, man, that was so cool. I should have done it.
Well, let's see here. Let me think about that for a minute because I don't want to use Savage Worlds for everything. So let's go. I'm going to say 3.0. I'm not even 3.5, 3.0.
Because that was the gateway drug, right?
Yeah, it really was. Like, second edition was cool, and then, I always wanted the sorcerer type class and such like that. And when I first got those 3.0 books, I was like, man. But the thing is, another thing about 3.0 that I liked a lot, too, is they have a lot of books that you don't see, like 4th and 5th edition, and even 3.5 made, the Savage Species book.
Yeah.
Was one of those rarities, man. And I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's like, that's back before monsters were every other character,
Right.
And it's like, hey, I could be a mind flayer, or hey, I can be an ogre, and it's like, that's so awesome.
Ooh, look, a dragonborn. Ooh. Yeah, when you literally played a half dragon, right?
Right.
And everybody's background was, my mom was raped by a red dragon.
Funny you should say that. One of my very first big campaigns with a 3-person group, they were all half dragons, and we played an Eberron.
Nice.
So yeah, that was really cool. It's actually,
I will say from the D&D era, Dragonlance, of course, is my favorite. And then a real close, I mean, so close, like nuts to butts close, is Eberron. I love the Eberron set. I've got all the books up there. Even the new, for 5th edition Eberron, I've got both books.
Sure.
So I think one that was released as a PDF, and then they released the hardback. Gorgeous. I mean, just Keith Baker and all of his stuff. It's just amazing. The Midgard setting for obviously 5th edition, and for a short period there, Pathfinder was really good. I love the Midgard stuff for 5th edition. In fact, if I was to run a 5th edition game, it would be in the Midgard setting from Kobold Press, because it's just amazing. I keep hoping that they'll do it for Pathfinder 2nd edition, but so far I don't think there's any plans. They're making too much money off of 5th edition. They don't want to split it up. I don't blame them.
It's the new hotness, man. I mean,
well, yeah. Well, it's already 5, 6, 7 years old. 5th edition is. They're already talking 6th edition. They don't know what they're going to call it, but they're talking about I'm on their playtest group, so I'll probably I'll get an email, I'm sure, because I playtested 3.5. I playtested 3rd edition. I playtested Alternity when they came out with that. If you remember that sci-fi game. I playtested 5th edition, so I don't see why they wouldn't contact me. My email's been the same all these years, so we'll see. I mean, as much as I bash on D&D, though, they might be like, screw that guy. But I mean, I don't hate D&D. I do like it. I think there's better mechanics out there. But you can tell the story is the story. The mechanics don't matter. Exactly. You can sit around the table and just tell ghost stories, right? That's where role playing kind of came from. We sit around the campfire and, we would tell scary stories, and it's progressed. And now we use little funny pieces of plastic to, arbitrate the randomness of it. So it all wins, damn you, Gary Gygax and Dave Arness, you assholes. But we love you, man. Rest in peace. So what part of the country are you in?
I'm in Kentucky, actually.
Kentucky, where the men are men and the sheep are nervous.
Yes.
Gotcha. Understand. Where the women are manlier than the men. No, Kentucky's fine. I've never been to Kentucky, believe it or not. I'm in the great frozen north of Minnesota. So today it was rainy, overcast, and about 70. So, it's the height of summer, and we haven't broken. Well, we have humidity here, so when it gets hot, it's hot. It's muggy and nasty. So far, it's been a pretty mild winter or summer, which leads me to believe that winter is going to be atrocious. But I'm a polar bear and I like the cold, so I'm okay with it. And I have a new job where I get to work outside, so it's even better. Let's see what else.
Turn into a gelatinous cube at some point, right?
I could. I think I am. Yeah, I might be. I don't know. My kid kind of just melds into me when he runs into me. So what games are you running right now?
Right now, actually, just last night I was running my homebrew, kind of like a mix of horror and Lovecraft and steampunk sort of deal. I'm running that with my current group, which consists of my fiance and 3 of my other buddies.
That's nice.
That's mostly been with one of them has been with me since like 2009, and then the other one, my fiance, has been playing pretty much since 2005, I think. Could be wrong on that.
Don't screw that up, or she won't be your fiance anymore.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool. It's cool that your
she's
fiance.
awesome.
My wife looks at it and goes, "What the fuck are you grown ass men doing? Bunch of nerds."
Yeah.
She's a scientist though. She's too smart for us. So.
Whenever I'm trying to get them into a new game, she goes, I honestly just want something where I can just zone out and play pretend and get a good story.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's one of the best kind of players that you can have, really.
Yes. They don't care what the game is. They just want to sit down and play, and the camaraderie. My group that I have right now that we play every Friday night here in my house is like that. They're 3 of them I work with them, and one of them is my best friend for going on 20 years now. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's a win-win for me, man, because they're they're all super cool. And one of them, Anthony, I don't know if you watched that video of a new player. He used to be my IT boss.
Wow.
Yeah. And so he's been playing for about a year now. But, COVID hit and we took a couple months off. And then we went to Foundry VTT. And, so he's still pretty new. And he just, whatever I run, he loves. So, and then my buddy Darren, who I've been friends with for, I think we figured it out, 18 years now. He, big shout out to him. He's about, I think he just turned 50 or he's about to turn 50. He's going to run, I just got it in the mail yesterday. As the books fall out and hit me in the head.
Oh, nice.
Delta Green. Yeah, I got the box set. So the slipcase. Yeah, I love the front. Just the big Illuminati green, whatever. So, and the back has nothing, just some like Egyptian hieroglyphics and weird shit kind of pressed. You can't really see it. I guess you can. Kind of holds fingerprints pretty well though. But yeah, it's the beautiful book. It's 2 books in there: the Gamekeeper and then the Player's book. So looking forward to playing that. I've never played Delta Green. I'm not a big horror fan, but my buddy Darren's a really good GM. So I'm hoping he'll get to play that, and then Anthony and the other players will get to experience a different kind of GM because he's a lot more sedate than I am. I'm all over the place. Large and in charge and in your face, and he's like 6'6". He's a big boy, but he's pretty soft-spoken kind of guy, But when you're that big, nobody fucks with you anyway, so he's not worried about it. Yeah, he's a big guy, but he's super nice. He's a gentle giant, and he's a lot of fun to game with. So it's pretty cool. So aside from tabletop RPGs, what are your other hobbies? Well, I guess publishing is probably one of those.
It's becoming one, at least.
Yeah, because I heard there's been some shout-outs for low-life stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine who said that.
I don't know. Probably some ass. Some jerk with a microphone, big mouth, who knows.
Well, I mean, I would like to do something for low life. To be honest, I told myself that when the PDFs started coming out, I was like, I'm not going to read this all the way through in PDF. Big fan of the Dead Tree. I love to just like hold a book and read it. Like my study, like you can't see it on purpose because like literally there's books literally laying on the floor in stacks and boxes from when we moved in to our house. And but yeah, I'd love to do that. I am actually working on a new low fantasy gaming supplement though. I haven't talked about it a whole lot.
Exclusive.
But yeah. This is the first time, like I'd say, like widespread that I'd probably said anything to it. But you know what? I'm going to give you a sneak peek here. So it's going to have new classes in it, like full-blown new classes, very akin to my druid, but plural classes, not just one. And one of them that I'd say be okay to talk about just a little bit is it's going to be my take on a warlock class, and it's not like a 5th edition warlock. It's more like a stealthy warlock.
Ooh.
So that's probably the most done that I've got for that book yet. I don't know timeline. I have no idea because it's just me.
Right.
And my fiance does the editing and such. So me and Steve have that in common at least.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have another set of eyes, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's good at that too. She's good at looking at documents and saying, "Hey, that's messed up. Clean this up."
Well, no, that's called being a woman. They love to tear anything apart that you make. So don't get excited. That's not that she's good at it. It's just you made it, so she's going to tear it apart. That's what they do. That's what they do.
Well, what's cool though, and she's going to do the Goblin Scribe gaming logo eventually.
Nice.
Like when she gets some time. I've already got an idea for it. I was like, I don't draw very well anymore. Like I used to in high school, and then don't know what happened. And so I just said, this is what I want it to kind of look like. Take your liberties, but like she draws. Sometimes she draws her characters and stuff in game nights, and it's just like, wow, that's It's amazing.
Dude, that's awesome. That's just another form of creativity, you know. I mean, this is my form, you know, the spoken word. Some people, you know, write like you, and some people draw like your fiance. So it's all good, man. It's a talent, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. It's another type of muscle. So, you know, yeah, no harm, no foul. It's totally good. I like that. I had a question, and it just totally slipped my mind. See, that's why we don't do scripts, because scripts are fucking useless.
Right, exactly.
Because I could have read that script and went, "Oh yeah, that's the question," but we're not professional.
It's more fun this way.
There you go, man. Let's see, you're kicked back in your easy chair. You got your hat on. You got your Deadpool shirt. Life is good, man. There's no stress. So you've been gaming since second edition. You live in Kentucky, so you're a certified redneck. I'm assuming you walk upright. That's kind of a
well, unless you want to call it the evolution of the computer technician, it's kind of like this.
Right, I'm right there with you, man. I crawled under desk for years, man. Now I push pipe, so now it's just holding a guide on for a crane and going.
Right.
So it's a different kind of upright, you know. But no, it's all good. It's you got to have fun, man. And I think you know, if you're doing what you love, what's your day job? If I can be so rude. We talked about this. I'm sorry. Ixnay that. No, that's not cool. He's a male prostitute. No. I am the Dale and Chip.
Yes. But
what do you want? Are you a computer tech? Is that what you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So Kentucky kind of hard for that kind of work, huh? Because I mean, they can much less spell computer, as you know. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, it's come on.
Right.
No, I'm teasing. You have big companies there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, fledgling mega corporations and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll eventually be low life. So.
It's coming. It's right. It's going to be here sooner than we know. Especially with COVID kicking us in the balls. So what's a game you haven't got to play but you want to play? Because if you're like me, you know you.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I've got 2 bookshelves full downstairs, but that's mostly stuff I've used before. Let me see here, actually, because since Gen Con of 2019, I've been like on a big buying spree and looking for new games. I actually, honestly, this is going to be it's a little different. It's a little less gritty than what I'm usually used to playing, but this right here, it's called Ryotama. I saw it on a video.
It's an Asian love story RPG, fantasy love story.
Well, actually, the way they describe it, if you're familiar with Studio Ghibli, they describe it as Studio Ghibli's Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
And you don't play the superheroes or the heroes or the adventures. You actually play NPCs that get thrown into an adventure. Like the people that the adventurers would talk to. It's like, oh, these guys aren't like big fighters or anything like that.
This is the B list.
Yeah, these like you can play a merchant or a noble or a farmer, and it's like I know that like I've played so much gritty. You know, I've played Mech Warrior, I've played AD&D, Shadow of the Demon Lord, which Schwab Entertainment, great people.
Oh, Robert Schwab is a super nice guy.
Oh yeah, he's a machine when he puts that stuff out too. Like how? I've played some Castles and Crusades. Dabbled a little bit with Tunnels and Trolls. Actually met the guys Gen Con 2019. Some of them anyway.
Yeah.
And super nice guys. And it's just like of all the games that I haven't played, I'd probably have to say that because it's so different.
Right.
Like it's not what I'm used to playing. It's not like sci-fi, cyberpunk, or
for me
fantasy.
That's Dogs in the Vineyard.
Right.
That's an actual game.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's honestly, so different from everything else,
Yeah.
So I feel you, man.
They're like, this is translated from Japan, and it's like, okay, because I'm decent into anime too, so but yeah, so it's just like that. I'd love to honestly play that at some point. Right, it'll probably be running it because I'm the forever DM. So
Right, I'm in the same boat. I get
whatever.
to play like once a year, whether I want to or not. It's like, oh,
Right.
okay. So and it's fine. I don't mind it, but I prefer to GM. Years ago when the fusion craze, I don't know if you remember that one, like Cyberpunk and Mechton and everything went to the fusion game system. I went to Gen Con in like 90, 92, 93 maybe,
Oh man.
and I
Yeah.
somebody was peddling a record of Lotus War,
Oh,
which is an awesome like D&D anime basically.
it really is.
But they did it in the fusion system.
Oh
And
man.
I've lost it over the years. I wish I could find it again. I bet if I looked online hard enough, I could probably find it. But it was done using the open source fusion mechanics.
Cool.
But they took art. I mean, it was professionally done. This is back in the days, before, you know, editors and stuff like that, where like Adobe Premiere and all that stuff was just in its infancy. So, you
Sure.
put stuff together the hard way. And but I had it spiral bound, and it was 2 big books, and I printed it off at work when I worked for the state years ago. And I wish I could find that again, because that's one I would. You could run it. You don't even need the book, to be honest. You can just watch the anime, and I have the collector's edition of the anime.
Oh. Is it the red box one?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really.
that's what I got too. Yeah, I
it's
love
really.
it.
It's like 12 disc, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's 10 or 12 discs. It might even be more. I don't remember. It's in a box somewhere, because I have an Xbox, but that's the closest thing to a DVD player I have now. I stream everything. I don't even have cable TV. I stream. I have Netflix, Hulu.
Same here.
Yeah, why give the cable guy $180 for 40 channels of Spanish weather? And then you spend your 2 hours watching TV, flicking through the channels to try and find something. And by the time you find something, you're so freaking tired, you go to bed and you don't even get to watch it. So
Right.
so
That's
yeah,
very true.
yeah. At least Netflix. I know I'm waiting for what is it, Goblin Slayer to come to either Netflix or Amazon, because I've been kind of catching some previews of it on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, this is so great. Goblin Slayer is just so funny.
It's
And
so it's funny.
gory
It's very satirical.
Yeah, it's
Very. I watched it on Funimation, the Funimation app.
I
It's
don't
just
have a
like
subscription. My buddy keeps telling me I need to just subscribe to either that, or it's Kotaku, or one of the other ones. There's several of them out there.
Crunchyroll. I think
Crunchyroll, yeah, is one of them.
But one of my players, he watches like 15 animes in like 5 seconds. It's like, have you seen this, this, and this? Like, no, dude, I don't watch them as fast as you do.
Right.
But he's one of my gaming group buddies. Like, he's in my group, and I've known him since high school. He's a super cool guy too. But yeah, he's like, watch Goblin Slayer, watch this, and I was like, okay. So give me like a day or two.
Yeah, I know, dude. There's like 122 episodes. Okay, I can't stay up all night. I got to go to work tomorrow. Or I have a family that requires time with me. The nice part is,
he had me in the Goblin Slayer for sure, and it's hilarious.
I got my wife into Claymore.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we watched it. I think it's 28 episodes, and it was just really good. She really enjoyed it too.
Animation too. Very good animation.
Yeah, really, really well done. So yeah, and then like I said, now it's Goblin Slayer, and then I'm watching. God, I forgot what it is. I think it's on Netflix right now. They just did a season 1. They agreed to a season 2. It's a Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah. I'm still watching that actually.
Yeah, I'm on, I think, episode 8 or 9.
It's pretty
It's
good.
really good. He's trying to turn his sister back into a human. She hasn't tasted human flesh yet, so she's.
Right.
It's crazy. It's a really good anime, though. I'm really enjoying it. So evidently there's a movie. I don't know if you knew that. There's a movie that came out in between season 1 and season 2. So
Cool. I'll have to watch that.
yeah, look out for it. Definitely keep an eye on it. I'm hopefully going to watch some more later in the week. But yeah, so I think we've hit all the hard questions. We've talked about what's coming up next, a little premiere. That's super cool. We're going to get Steve to play a game. The problem is he's in Australia, so his times are all effed up. Plus, he lives in a land where everything will eat you. So,
yeah, I mean, like a juice box will kill you or something.
exactly, right? You know, you're walking down the sidewalk, boom, you're dead. You know, it's like, whoa. You know, at least, you know, in Chicago, I expect to hear the drive-by. You know, I know it's coming, but not there, man. You go to take a piss, and all of a sudden, a giant spider just eats your pecker. You know, it's crazy. I gave him shit for it on the interview, so it was a lot of fun. I can't think of anything else we need to cover. Is there anything you want to tell the people out there? What to look out for, or buy your book? Shameless plug. Tell us.
Well, yeah, definitely some shameless plugs, but I will say anything that supports that book, I put it into the next one. So what I'm hoping to do is take the money from this one and get more art. Like instead of having to use the royalty free, like actually maybe not commission, but go help out like Jeremy Hart, for example. I always see him posting stuff on Twitter. He's a super cool guy. He did the in the introduction page. He did that blue dragon and then that orc with the big hammer. Yeah, his stuff is so gritty and so dark and cool, and he's awesome. Him and then Dean Spencer.
Dean Spencer's pretty solid now.
Dude, he's a boss. Like he's so awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You throw these guys a couple of bucks, and he already knows the theme of the book, because you can just look at the LFG book and he knows what he did for those books. So work in that same vein, and give me something that won't break the bank, and I'll give you an honest fee for it. And you'll have some super cool art that nobody else will have necessarily. So that's kind of solid, And maybe he would work with Steve and see what you guys can pull together. I'll bet you 10-1 there's some art that Steve hasn't used that he has. you know what I'm saying? A little collaboration there. I bring people together. It's what I do.
No, that would be really cool. I'd love to collab on something with Steve.
Yeah,
I've even talked to JD about it too. It's like, you're one of the first content creators on the website, like for the community and such. And I was like, we should do something together. I don't know what.
Yeah,
but I was like, we
put
should,
something together, man. Make it happen.
He's got this aesthetic for historical type stuff, and it's I couldn't do it. Like I start writing stuff down. And it's like, oh well, there goes some magic where it shouldn't be. It's like,
historical to me is yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, let me break out my cell phone and check out what happened. Yeah, that's not historical.
But I'll tell you a fun fact though, because you did mention something about liking the monk, and of course I always like to give love to the monk and bard because I think they're highly underrated classes.
Right.
And like with the monk, I was trying to figure out what to do with that. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to watch some Kung Fu videos. It's not like movies,
right?
But like actual Kung Fu masters training other people and stuff. And I was like, okay, so the design aesthetic, I was like, okay, what is this fighting style personify? And then that's what I would try to put it into a real simple mechanic. And that, like, for example, the crane, where it's like, if you get attacked, instead you can push somebody like 15 feet away or something like that. Because what they do in there is crazy.
Yep.
Like, in minimal movement. Like, literally, a guy could, like, blink his eyes and, like, be, like, way over there down the street. Yeah. Like, because he threw the guy or something like that.
Yeah, and using your own, momentum and everything against you and stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. And when it's form follows function, right? Or function follows form. It just depends on how you look at it. But everything is super cool. I can't wait to see more of what you've got up your sleeve, because your first book was just a joy, and I'm so glad. I mean, $5. It was, first of all, it was a steal. And I will tell everyone to go use my drive-through affiliate link to pick that book up. Yeah, well, it doesn't cost anybody anything. You don't lose any money. I make a couple pennies off of it. It helps the channel out, and I do the same thing. I throw all that money back into the channel, and I buy other stuff to review. So that's how I paid for this beast. It's all the Patreon and stuff like that. All that money goes right back into the channel. So when I bought my new camera and everything, it that's where the money comes from. I just save it up until I need it, and when I hit the magic number, I buy it. So it's a win-win. And the meanies out there, like I said, I know I have one of the best Discord communities out there. Everybody's super helpful. People are, and no moderators. It's nice We don't have anybody that, I have to curtail or anything like that. It's just, and we keep it strictly to gaming. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion. We don't talk about video games. We talk about gaming, tabletop gaming, RPGs, chuck and dice. People may make a comment. One of the guys on there, he plays a lot of video games and stuff, and so he'll make a comment. And I think I started playing tonight. I started playing Lord of the Rings. I hadn't touched that game in years. 2007, I think, or something like that is the last time I played it. So I had to go and create a new account and everything. So I just put on there like, well, Lord of the Rings still pretty cool after all these years.
I remember talking about that with you last night.
Yeah. So I got it fired up and was able to play it on my old laptop here. i7 Core i7 laptop with no graphics card, but it's playing. It took me a little finagling, but it took me about 2 hours of fighting with it, but I got it to work, and it plays great now. So I have no complaints, and it was fun. And I'm gonna drop WoW because I just don't have any interest in WoW. I tried to get back into it; it's just not my cup of tea. So, but Lord of the Rings is definitely the flavor, and the stuff that you see from the movies and stuff is in there.
That's awesome.
You can go to the Shire, and it looks just like what you read in the books and stuff. So it's really cool. And it's a game I can play solo. I don't have to, you don't have to group up with anybody and play it. Right. So, and it's like 115 is the level cap, or 130 is the level. Wow. Yeah, I'm level 6, I think. I got a ways to go, but yeah, just having fun with that. And I do that. I may not touch it for 2 months, but then I'll come back and it's new. It's like, ooh, I'm playing. So it's to have fun, man. And guys like you making the cool stuff that you make is what gives me things to do. So I really appreciate you spending your Sunday evening chatting with me. I would say get your ass back to work and put out the next book, and sell it for more than $5. Damn it, you deserve it. People will pay for it. You make good stuff, so it's definitely worth it. If you guys are out there and you're playing low fantasy gaming and you don't have his compendium, pick it up. It's $5, and it's going to add just a breadth of options that you didn't have in the core book. So it's and go play the monk. The monk is badass.
Right.
Or the druid. Play the druid. There's a theme there. The monk and the druid. A monk and a druid walk into a bar. Yeah. The monk thinks about it, but the druid plants a tree.
Right.
See what else? What else is going on? Yeah, I had Friday off, so I belted out a ton of content. So, and I was able to reach out to you. So that was super cool that we were able to get together tonight. Next Friday I've got to work, but then Monday is the 4th of July. So I have Monday off. So probably do some stuff on Monday. And then I have that following Friday off. So I get to work 3 days the week after, and it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
so rough. But yeah, so life is good, man. And I hope everything works out for you. Hopefully you and JD can collaborate and get something going. I think I'm going to get him on the channel next to talk about his stuff. And then Wiki Snapper,
I've talked to him a little bit. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he seems really cool, and he's agreed to come on the channel as well because he did that weapons compendium. And it's laid out really well. I mean, and he's like, "Oh, it's not done," and I'm like, "Dude, this looks solid to me. What do I know?" But content is king, right? And me and Steve were talking about this the other night. Is you can spit out a 300-page book, but I guarantee you, there's people out there that the book came out on Friday. By Monday, they're done reading it and they're going, "What's next?"
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's just not enough hours in the day because you can't create content fast enough to keep up with the consumption. People get mad at like WotC and Paizo and Savage Worlds Pinnacle, for spitting out books. I'm like, that's called commerce. It's how they make money.
Exactly.
It's if you want a 1-page game, go buy Dungeon World, or Blades in the Dark, where you don't have to buy another book and you're done. But those companies won't be around in 10 years because if you don't keep putting out content, there's nothing. People aren't going to remember you, right? So that's why WotC's, and even WotC's toned down. I think they're putting out like one book every 2 or 3 months. But still, their books are $50-$60 a pop. Paizo's books are, super expensive too. But, they're spitting out books every couple of months just to keep, that money flowing. And, you sell a $50 book, or, even if it's $50 online, a PDF maybe 20 or 25, that's still revenue coming in. You got to pay those authors, you got to pay the artist, and, so I think small press publishers like you guys, you, Steve, JD, WikiSnapper, you guys have a place, and you're filling that niche. And the more content that you can churn out, because you don't have that timeline of like the major corporations, you don't have that overhead. You're doing this in your garage, 10 o'clock at night, sitting in your underwear, you can do that, right? And so it's and if it does, and we all hope it picks up, but let's face it, how many millionaire game designers do we know?
Sure. Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
They all have daytime jobs.
Right.
Except for a couple of the people at WotC and a couple of the people at Paizo. They all have normal daytime jobs that they do other stuff, and they do this stuff, in their off time, like you and I. So we're not going to get rich off of this, but we'll have fun doing while we do it. And
that's the whole point, man. If you're not having fun doing something, why do it?
Exactly.
There's no point. That's what me and Steve were talking about. It's like it's the dream to make this something that could be your day job,
right?
But it's just, unfortunately, it's not something that's feasible unless you're a big corporation,
right? And the flip side is, once it becomes your day job, now it's hard,
right?
You have a shitty day at work, and you sit down in front of your computer and you go, oh, so this happened today, and I'm pissed off about it. I'm going to turn this into a feat. Right, or it sparks it sparks creativity of some way, shape, or form. But now, when you don't have that alternate day job, and this is your day job, what sparks you?
Sure. Yeah, you make a good point there. Absolutely.
So and then now it just becomes work, right? See, right now, this compendium for you is fun, right?
Oh yeah.
It's new. It's exciting. It's like dating a new girlfriend. She's awesome and. Everything about her is a miracle, and then after 10 years, you look over and you go, "You bitch, I'm gonna kill you," So, but you still love her because you can't find a place to hide the body. So, and that is akin to working in the RPG industry. Those guys are on the line day in and day out to come up with new shit, and they don't have anything to draw from. They're sitting in an office meeting, talking about the things that they used to love writing about, and now they have to do it day in and day out, and there's a difference there.
Very much is,
yeah. You put a timeline. You say, okay, what is it? Today is January or June 27th. So if you say by June 30th, I'm going to have 10,000 words written. Could you do it?
Probably not.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what those professional writers face every day. That's the kind of pressure, which is why they burn out and game companies fold. And, WotC's gone through people like, underwear, so's Paizo, because it's burnout, so it's hard to do that, day in and day. It's like carpentry or roofing. You can do it for a couple of summers and you make a crap ton of money. But, after 10 years, you're like, oh, God, every bone in my body hurts and I'm tired.
Right.
I've fallen off of 3 roofs and, yada, yada, yada. So you can't do it and it's the same analogy. You can't do it forever. So I think having a day job, or a fiance with disposable income is, and allows you to, work at your leisure and not be under any pressure. Like you said, there's no timeline for the new book. It's going to come out when it comes out, right? If you were a publisher, you can't get away with that.
No,
your company will go under, and then you got people to feed, right? So yeah, there's a lot of pressure in the game industry, and it's a volatile industry, and printing costs are going up left and right, and we're exporting more and more to China. There's a whole political aspect of it that I don't want to get into, but yeah, it's just ugly, and we're getting, it's just work. It's work. So the fact that you come at it at this fresh experience and, so mellow and chill about it and just enjoying it and having fun, you light up when you talk about it. So it's super cool to see that, and I wish you all the success in the world, and I hope you get to keep doing it for as long as you want to do it. And when you're ready to walk away, man. Don't let anybody tell you different. And
I totally plan to. Like, I want to keep going as long as I can.
Yeah, just have fun with it.
It's just fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
And you get a cool, toolbox to work with, for as LFG is, or low life. So yeah, even better when you have something fun like that to work in. So I wish you all the best. It has been super cool. Yes, we have been talking for 59 minutes. So I like to keep these to about an hour, which I think we have successfully done. We've got the cool stuff. For those that don't know it out there in YouTube land, Brado is known as Lynchpin, and he is on my Discord. You have your own Discord?
No, and actually, Lynchpin's just my gamer tag, to be honest with you.
Nerd.
But yeah.
Right. No, well, Goblin Scribe, right? Goblin Scribe that's your title on my Discord, and on the you're very active on the Low Fantasy Gaming Discord and the Low Light Discord, and you're very active on my Discord. So thank you so much for supporting the channel and helping out, man. I really appreciate it. And as we say, anything else you want to say to the world out there? Tell your fiance you love her. You can say, "Baby, I'm on TV."
Yeah, look at that. See, I'm on with Mr. Mean.
Hey, woo! That 95 cents will get you a cup of coffee.
But no, one thing I can really say is in the LFG community and people like yourself, it's just like we got to lift each other up because we as a whole are the mega corporations. Like in that sense, we're the people that need that more so than they do because they've got loads of money just to throw around.
We don't,
and they make good stuff.
Yeah.
But like we, on the other hand, we have that soul, that passion that the big companies, like you were saying, they burn out.
Yeah.
Like, and it's unfortunate because there's a lot of creative minds out there, man. But no, it's just what I always tell like JD and Steve and like people on the LFG thing. I thank literally anybody that says they bought my book. Like, I try to find the exact moment to even like tag them, reply to them, or whatever. Like, as much as I can. I know I probably can't get everybody, but I've literally made so much effort to do so. But we've got to lift each other up, man. Like,
dude,
this is how we're going to get noticed and seen.
You don't even know how giddy I was when I got my LFG book on, I think it was Friday, and I opened it up, and down there in the special thanks, it was like John, Mr. Mean Polak. I was like,
oh no!
I didn't know he was going to do that. I was in total shock. It was just super.
He did that for me on the companion.
Yeah.
For the Low Fantasy Gaming companion, because that was before I had even this published, and I was just literally just throwing out the drafts of the individual classes on like a 2 or 3 sheet.
But you were really active on his Discord too.
Yeah.
You were always replying to people and stuff. So yeah, he noticed, right? So super cool, man. Super cool.
I appreciate his enthusiasm.
Yes.
Like, it's something you don't see in a lot of games.
And his professionalism, because not only is he passionate about it, he's professional about it, and it's super cool to see that. So and so are you, sir. To be kind, you very much so, and great sense of humor. You put up with my shenanigans. So what does that say? So I think we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna say thanks to everybody. I don't edit any of this shit. I just throw it right up there on YouTube, and we'll post it. And feel free to put it on the Twitters.
You got it.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds cool. And then I'll post it on my MeWe social media. I'm on MeWe,
awesome.
And if you're a budding publisher out there, just like Goblin Scribe here. We'll get you on the channel and we'll talk about it. And then on my Discord, you get the cool little moniker that shows you're a publisher, which is super cool. And that's the least little thing I can do. So it lets people know. And, people may reach out to you and say, hey, how do I do this? So hopefully we'll get some other young aspiring artists out there, wordsmiths to do the cool stuff like you're doing. I can't thank you enough, man. It's super cool that you do what you do, and thank you for helping Steve out and bringing this little game company even higher up in the ranks. So it's super cool, man.
Well, thanks for having me, man. Like, seriously, I didn't expect to do this would happen. Like, honestly, when I published it, I was just like, I'll just publish it. And
make a couple bucks.
I'm gonna put it on the site.
Yeah. Now he's buying a house in the Bahamas. It's. His fashion model girlfriend, fiance is, she's in Paris right now. She doesn't have time to It's super cool, man, and I'm glad. I wish you all the success in the world, and
Thank
your
you.
best
Thank you.
endeavors on your next book. We're gonna go ahead and fade to black. I'm gonna say peace and hair grease, and remember, everybody, as always, Mr. Mean says, be nice.